What about the same grandmother grid? We hooked 2 out, and then we assembled it. Learn the process of making this small bag. Okay, take one of our pieces. Using our lines of the same color, we'll all remember that there are heads and tails. This is the front. This is the reverse side. We are on the very edge of its front, this place where the lock needle enters the needle. Drag over the wire. Crochet a standing needle. Okay, and then we continue to inject the same needle. Insert the needle and drag it over. Drag the wire directly through the 2 coils. Take a look. This is our first short needle. You can take the marker buckle and mark it for him here. Okay, and we went from needle to needle. Hook back short needle. We're going to hook out 3 short needles in total. Each needle head corresponds to a short needle. Insert the needle and drag it over. Drag the wire directly through the 2 coils. Look, we've already hooked 3 short needles. Keep repeating. We're going to circle around him. 2 sides and 3 sides. Hooked from here to here. It's all hooks and short needles. Unabated. And then in this hole in the middle of the corner. Don't forget, here are 2 locking pins at the corner. That's 2 stitches. Inside a hole. We're going to hook 2 stitches. Turn this way again. A good needle corresponds to a needle crochet this and a short needle. Take a look. We go from here to here. The short needle around the 3 circles has been hooked to this corner. Then we continue to erect a standing needle. Turn him over again. After turning over here, it is also a needle corresponding to a needle hook short needle. Then we go from here. Hook back to where we started. 1 needle corresponds to 1 needle hook short needle. Same has. So here's 1 for 1. No needle addition or needle reduction. Just hook around it. So let's crochet it up. Take a look. Hook here to here. We have our last stitches. Remove the marker buckle. The last needle should also be hooked with a short needle. After hooking a short needle, we stand up a needle. Okay, then leave a long line to disconnect. What about the thread here? You can leave it longer. Leave a look of about 50 centimeters and 60 centimeters. Keep it as long as possible. After disconnection, we pull him over. Pull it tight and hide a few stitches in the beginning of the thread for him. Then cut him off. And then we took out our stitches. Thread the thread through. Take out our other grandmother's plaid. We find its corresponding positive position. This is the front. Take a look here. Confirm it. Also positive. Don't confuse heads and tails. Okay. After the front position, we're facing it like this. Here is where we just placed the first short needle. Then find the corresponding position of the first lock pin. Here, both sides only pick the outer half of the needle. Take a look. We just kind of circle around one stitch for one stitch. Each side only picks the outer half of this thread. Sew it with an outer stitch. Just follow this method. We sew it on all 3 sides. Okay. I've already sewn it on 3 sides here. That's it. The status of a small bag. And then after the last stitch, our last stitches. Give him a little extra loop here on this needle. Bring 2 more laps. Then put this thread into the other needles. Hide 2 stitches a little. When you start hooking the upper part, we left a little bit of thread. When it's time to hook this part above, wrap it in so it's strong. It 1T open. Leave a little. Just put the thread here. It doesn't affect. The good body part is done. Now, let's learn our bag mouth part. Okay, go ahead and take out our lines of the crocheting the mouthpieces. Then we insert the needle in the side. Any needle here is fine. Just insert the needle on the side. So our seam is on the side. The front will look better. Okay, continue to stand a standing needle. Then insert the needle and drag it over a short needle. Okay, so that's where we took the first shot. You can mark it with a marked buckle. Okay, then one needle for one needle. One needle for one needle. All hooks and short needles. Then come down this circle. You can count the needles by yourself. There are 50 short needles in total. Okay. Keep going, needles for needles. Hook the short needle. And then after this circle 50 short needles again. 1 stitch for 1 stitch. Okay. So let's crochet these 2 loops. Okay, let's take a look at what I don't add. The short needle has been hooked to the end of the second lap. The last stitch find the location of the first needle. Here we go in the needle and drag it around the thread. The first coil is hooked directly through the second coil. This is a pull needle. Then continue to stand to braided needles. All right, here we go for lap 3. And you can count them. After hooking these 2 rounds of short needles, is the above needle corresponding to 50 short needles? If it is missing, you can secretly add a needle to the side. Then if you have more words, you can also reduce the needle a little bit. You could actually tell if this is 1 less needle. Okay, then we move on. If you go up this circle, we're going to hook a long needle. Take a look at the method of long needles. First, go ahead and insert the first needle we just did. Here, crochet 3 coils. Okay, the first long needle is done. You can mark it with a marker buckled by yourself. Winding needle. Okay, second one. Take a look at the third one. Then our circle is the same. It's always 1 for each stitch. Hook long needles, and then a total of 50 long needles. Okay. Crochet it yourself. Take a look. And I've reached the last stitch here. The long needle is done. Find the location of the first needle. Insert the needle and drag it over a lead pin. All right, remember that. What about the end of each lap? It's all about hooking the lead needle. Then the beginning of each lap. You have to hook another upright needle. The uplifting needles for the last circle of long needles are 2 uplifting needles. We continue to hook another round of unabated short needles. Then we stand up a needle. Okay, then we continue to repeat the previous steps. What about each needle? Hook a short needle. So let's crochet it up. Okay, the last short needle ends. Continue to find the location of the first needle. Insertion, hook a lead pin. Tension. All right, here we go for our final circle of lace. Take a look here. And then we moved on to this little lace thing. We continue to stand to upright needles. 1, 2 goods. Take a look. And here we have to braided needles. Then we hook a long needle in the next entry. Good long needle done. What about the next stitch? We hook another long needle. Let's take a look at the hook method of the long thread on crochet. Then insert the needle. Drag over the wire. What I'm winding drags through 2 coils. Okay, the first long needle then we are done. In the next stitch. Another long needle. Okay, then the next long needle. Then 2 braid needles. Insert the needle here in the next entry. Drag over the wire. Hook a lead pin. Okay, let's take a look. What about our first little flower-shaped already little hooked lace out? Okay, here's another one. Let's set up to braid needles. Next stitch, a long stitch. Then hook down to long needles. Okay, and then the next long needle. Then 2 locking pins. Moving on to the next stitch. Pull tensioning. Take a look. Our 2 little laces are done. Do you follow this crochet rule? Complete the final lap. Take a look. I've hooked the last little flower shape here. The last long needle is complete. Then we lock 2. Okay, and find the location of the first needle. Drag over the wire. Hook a lead pin. Pull it tight, and then we'll disconnect it directly. Leave a little thread. Our thread brings it here. Then hide a few needles in other needles. Then just disconnect the line directly. It is better to take a few stitches directly and then disconnect the thread. Take a look. Our small bag is done. Take a look. Bag complete. Let's now hook this little drawstring on him. Wrap it around. Then pinch the intersection in the middle. Get crochet. Insert the needle from below. Drag over the wire. Okay. That's a slip knot, and we kept hooking and locking needles. Then we have to hook a total of 80 lock pins. Okay, count it yourself. Take a 80 look. Lock pins complete. Then we leave a little thread and disconnect it directly. Pull the line over. Put it aside for back up. Let's knit another same drawstring out. Okay, 2 drawstrings complete. Then we set it aside as a backup. We're going to hook it now to this little flower on the drawstring. Take out our white line. We came around the wire. Hold the thread. Crochet into the needle from the bottom. Drag over the wire. Then hook to braided needles. Okay, so we're inside this long needles out. 8 hectares. We wound the thread into the needle. Two, 3, 4, 7, 8. Okay, 8 long needles completed. Take out your finger and pinch this thread. Stretch it. Tension. Then find the destination of the first long needle. Here we go into the needle and wind the thread. Okay, hook a lead pin. Then tighten the broken wire. Leave a little thread to break the wire. Let's drag the thread to his back. Put it on the back. Then thread it down a few stitches. Go through. Okay, don't cut the thread like this. Put it aside for back up. Let's knit another little flower like this. Okay, after the flowers and drawstrings are completed, we take out our stitches. Thread our thread like this. All right, bring it in. We find this position of the long needle in this circle. And then we insert the needle from the side. Insert the needle like this. Pick 3 needles at a time. Pick 3 at a time. In this way, we pass it through. Leave a little bit out. Don't finish it all. And then we move on. The last one. If there is not enough here, go directly to the first stitch. This location is fine. Coming straight to our first needle. Get him organized. How about after we wear the rope? The 2 ropes are in one piece. Then take out one of our little flowers. We crochet. Insert the needle from this place with the thread here. Drag over the wire. Drag him both yellow wires over here. Okay, we'll put it here. Pull him tight. White line taut. And we gave him the white wire and the yellow wire. Tie 2 of each in a dead knot. These 2 are also tied in a dead knot. Okay, what about after tying the dead knot? A little bit of thread. About 3 or 4 millimeters. 5 mm look. Cut like this. Then turn our little flower over to it. Okay, let's take a look at it like this. We have a small bag strapped on one side like this. Then we follow the same method. So hem the drawstrings here too. Okay. Let's take a look at the small drawstrings. After packing on both sides, this is what it looks like. Pay when attention. This drawstring try to keep the middle position the same. The 2 sides can be slightly staggered. It doesn't matter. But the middle piece is as consistent as possible. When we pull it, it's easy to pull it. Take a look. So a small change purse for us is complete. Okay, let's take a look. Small bags. And when it's done, it looks like this. And then we all made the green ones. This small change of purse. Be sure to pay attention. He doesn't need to crochet short stitches on this side. We sutured him directly with a long thread. Then just hook this bag mouth directly. Same steps. It's just that there are 2 circles of short needles less than the others on the side. Everybody pay attention. Okay.